So today we went through the design thinking process, and the employees at Waste Management focused on what are some of the problems they're having in their day-to-day business and trying to come up with solutions on how they can solve them. However, if we don't really understand the problem, our solution's not going to have much value. So a quote that really applies to design thinking is from Leroy Grumman, who is the founder of Grumman Aerospace. And he once said, "It's better to have a rough answer to the right question than a detailed answer to the wrong question." And that directly applies to the concepts for design thinking. So in the waste management workshop, we went through 5 different phases: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. And constantly throughout this process, we are pitching ideas, getting feedback, and finding ways to iterate and improve our ideas. So in the empathy phase, the employees at Waste Management conducted one-on-one interviews to help understand the problem from their users' perspective. From there, we went into the define phase, where we analyzed and synthesized through all of the information from the interviews and tried to make sense of what does all this actually mean. They then created a point of view statement, also known as a user story statement, which helps define who the user is, what are their needs, and some insights from their findings. They then flipped their point of view statement into a how might we question. So how might we questions open up the field for new ideas, and they help create a collaborative environment for solving them. Once they had their how might we questions finished, they began ideating and coming up with these new ideas, and they were pitching them to other groups to receive feedback. And from there, they made iterations and came up with their final ideas. A key component of the ideation phase is creating a culture where people are comfortable sharing ideas. So they focused on building off of each other's ideas instead of shutting each other's ideas down. And then lastly, once they had their ideas ready to go, they created prototypes, which are physical representations of their ideas. And they built these so their users could test them out. After testing their prototypes with their users and receiving feedback, they made a couple more iterations to their prototypes, and then they had their final pitches to the entire group about the problems that they came up with and their solutions.